Everyone, welcome to Intellify. Today we are going to see the topic the hierarchy of classification groups that comes under the chapter Diversity in Living Organism for Class 9 by Ravina. Introduction. Biological classification or scientific classification in biology is a method of scientific taxonomy used to group and categorize organisms into groups such as genus or species. These groups are known as taxon. Biological classification is also known as scientific classification, which is used to group and categorize the organism into their respective group known as genus, which is known as taxon. Biologists such as Ernst Haeckel, Robert Whittaker, and Carl Wirth have tried to classify all living organisms into broad categories called kingdoms. This is the picture of Ernst Haeckel, Robert Whittaker, Carl Wirth. In the 7 levels of classification, the kingdoms are divided into sub-5 kingdoms. They are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Monera, it is also divided into Archaebacteria, Eubacteria. Classification of groups. 7 chief groups make up a system in scientific classification. The groups are kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. Classification. Kingdom, also known as Animalia or animals, largest groups that living things are sorted into. They are able to move on their own. Phylum, called as chordator or chordates, has a backbone. Class, mammals, called as Mammalia, it has a backbone and nurses its eggs. Chordates with fur or hair, and it secretes milk glands. Order, primates. It is a mammals with collar bones and grasping fingers. It is also known as rodentia, even though it has a backbone, nurses its eggs, and have a long, short front teeth. Family, called as homins or sciurae, has a backbone, has a long sharp front teeth, and has a bushy tails. Primates with flat faces, 3-dimensional vision. Genus, Homo, it has a backbone, homins with upright posture, and it has a large brain and has a bushy tail. Species, Homo Sapiens, is a member of the genus Homo with a high forehead and a thin skull bun. It has a brown fur on its back and white fur on its underpart, even though it has a bushy tail. Then, Monera, it is a unicellular prokaryotes. Protista, it is a unicellular eukaryotes. Fungi, it is a multicellular eukaryotes with cell wall, do not perform photosynthesis. Plantae, it is a multicellular eukaryotes with cell wall, do not perform photosynthesis. Animalia, multicellular eukaryotes, no cell wall. Here, prokaryotes means contain single prokaryotic cell, lacks on envelope enclosed nucleus. Eukaryotes contain true nucleus found in plants, animals, and fungi. Monero, basic characteristic. It is a unicellular organism. Nucleus and cell organelles are absent, may or may not have cell wall. Able of nitrogen fixation, its mode can be in autotrophic or heterotrophic. Example, bacteria, blue-green algae, or cyanobacteria. Bacteria, mycoplasma, and cyanobacteria are the few examples of Monera. Protista, its basic characteristic. It is a unicellular organism, a well-defined nucleus and cell organelles are present. Mode of nutrition, can be autotrophic or heterotrophic. Some of these organisms have appendages like cilia and flagella for movements. Diatoms, protozoans, and algae are few examples. Protozoan, algae, and diatom are the example. Fungi, basic characteristics. Cell walls contain chitin. Chitin means same material that makes up crab shell. Most are multicellular except for the yeast, made up of long strands of cell connector end-to-end called hyphae. Reproduce by a variety of asexual and sexual methods, may back together to form complex reproductive structures as mushroom. Plantae, basic characteristics. Cell walls made up of cellulose, a complex carbohydrate, cannot move from place to place. Through some species of plants have motile sperm, most are rooted to ground. Autotrophs or primary producers release oxygen gas, food sources for human and other animal. Portable reproductive structures as spores and seeds enable dispersal of plants. Mosses and ferns are some examples of plantae. Animalia, basic characteristic. It lacks cell walls. Dicots develop through several stages. Specialized tissue called muscle enable them to move about readily and even fly in some other species. It reproduces asexually, but mostly it reproduces sexually. 99% are vertebrates, rest are invertebrates. Invertebrates lack a backbone. Vertebrates have a backbone. About 35 phyla, most of which live in marine environment, some in freshwater and fewer on lands. It's grouped into 6 categories. They are sponges and cnidarians, molluscs, worms, arthropods, echinoderms, vertebrates. The questions I would like to ask you guys: name the biologists who classified all living organisms into kingdom. Difference between Monero and Protista. Give basic characteristic of Animalia. The answer for second question. Difference between Monera and Protista. Protista, they are aquatic. Some are photosynthetic. Some are fungus-like and some are animal-like. Grouped into 6 categories. Protista is a grouping of unicellular, but some multicellular organisms have a little, nothing in common with any other kingdom of eukarya other than being eukaryotic. Then, Animalia, it lacks cell walls. Zygotes develop through several stages. Specialized tissue called muscles enable them to move readily and even flight in some species. Most reproduce sexually. 99% are vertebrates, rest are invertebrates from 0.5 mm to 100 feet in size. They are divided into 6 categories. The biologist who classified all living organisms into kingdom or R.H. Whitaker, Ernst Haeckel. Thank you.